good, all my Ruthless addicts? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn, and yes, I'm here to bring you Tyler Perry's Ruthless episode 18 review entitled The Precious Armor. So listen, y'all, when I tell y'all this episode, everybody has been talking about how slow the show has been going, how we're missing out on things. Well, I'll be doggone y'all. Let me tell y'all, this episode was literally popping full of any and everything that you can think of. So many unanswered questions have been answered. And when I tell y'all it is crazy, y'all, this episode is freaking crazy. It literally, if I had on pearls right now, I would literally be clutching my pearls. So let's go ahead and get on into this episode. So the episode is entitled The Precious Armor. Now I'm going to fast forward into the show so that we understand what exactly is the precious armor. According to the highest, when he had a conversation with Ruth, the precious armor are the children. He says that with the children being there, with the children being on the front line, if the government has to come in, they will not kill us because they will know that there are children involved. How sadistic is that, y'all, to use children as shields? Like I told y'all, the highest is crazy. He's a classic psychopath, and the dude is literally out of his mind. Okay? All right, y'all, but let's go ahead and get on into this episode. So in this episode, you guys, we see that River has been caught by Daikon trying to get into that safe. River is questioned, interrogated. Of course, he is hit by Daikon to try to figure out how and why are you even in this finance trailer. You don't work in finance, River, so why are you even in this finance trailer? So after some interrogation, Daikon realizes that River has a set of keys. So he questions him, how do you have these keys? Where did you get these keys from? So River goes on to say that Yancy gave him the keys. So now, with that being said, River and Daikon make their way over to the bus. Now, River does not want to go on the bus because he already knows that Yancy is on that bus and dead. But Daikon basically forces him to go ahead and get on that bus. So when they get on the bus, they see that Yancy is dead. Now we know that River already knew that Yancy was dead. River isn't the one that killed Yancy, okay? Don't forget, y'all, Talia is the one that killed Yancy. So anyway, Daikon thinks that River has something to do with Yancy being killed and with him being dead, because we won't say that killed. But anyway, he thinks that River has something to do with the death of Yancy. Now, River is literally begging and pleading, begging. I had nothing to do with it. I don't know anything about it. I didn't know he was dead. And with that being said, Daikon says, well, I'm gonna take you to the cooler. Y'all, we get to find out what the heck the cooler actually is. So when he takes River over to the cooler, it's literally a cooler. I'm talking about something that you would put your extra meat in. You know, when you don't have enough room in your freezer, you take it over to that cooler that you keep your meat in. It's literally a small box with no, probably more than likely no air. So there's a potential that somebody could actually die in that little behind box, y'all. So yeah, poor River has made his way to, he's finally got caught in doing what he was doing. He should have made sure the lights was out, but he didn't. So anyway, River has been caught and has been placed in the cooler. So then we see Elder Mother Marva trying to sneak and make her way over to the punishment trailer. Now, what she's trying to go do at that punishment trailer is to take some food to Elder Mother Agnes. However, y'all, we already know Elder Mother Agnes is no longer alive. But in the midst of her trying to sneak and get to that punishment trailer, Daikon sees her. And Daikon, of course, questioned her about, what are you doing here, and are you trying to sneak food to the elder mother? And Daikon is not with it. He don't care. Punishment is punishment. Nobody deserves food when they're being punished. But at the end of the day, elder mother Marva and elder mother Agnes were friends, and Marva had a small bit of a heart. We never thought that elder mother Marva would have any piece of heart, but she did. She was trying to take her friend some food. However, because Daikon has caught her, she cannot give her any food. He lets her know that I will be telling the highest that you tried to give Agnes some food, and you probably gonna be punished. And with that being said, he sends her on her way after, of course, a bunch of back and forth arguing, as Daikon and Marva does. So back and forth arguing, and she finally makes her way back over to her trailer. Y'all, I also failed to mention how when Marva and Daikon were bickering back and forth, and of course they go in on the government names. So Daikon says, "Fine, Marva," and of course um, Marva says, "Fine, Anthony." Anthony, she never says his name Anthony. It's Anthony to her. And then he just says to her, "Shoe fly shoe." I'm like, okay, y'all, the conversation between these two is always comedic, always on point. So this crap is hilarious, y'all. But then, y'all, then, our boy Andrew has made his way back to the compound, y'all. I'm excited because Andrew literally saves the freaking day all the time. Some shape, form, or fashion, Andrew has a way of saving the day. So Andrew returns, and of course, he makes his way over to Daikon's trailer, and he lets him know, "Hey, everything is taken care of. Everything is good." He said that the highest was correct. That there were two cameras on the doors, but that Melinda was on neither one of those cameras. So thankfully, that situation has cleared up. However, there is more crap to unload onto Andrew by Daikon. So Daikon proceeds to let Andrew know that 8 other people tried to escape from the Rakadushi compound. They wanted to leave. They got up in front of the prophecy and decided that they were going to leave. And we know what happens to people when they want to leave. But Daikon says to Andrew, that one got away. Now he doesn't want to tell Daikon that name, or he doesn't want to tell Andrew the name. But we all know that Talia is the one that was able to escape. Unfortunately, the others who were brought back on the back of the trailer are dead. So, with that being said, then we have it where Clark runs up to Andrew and Daikon having their conversation, and he lets Daikon know what happened. Y'all, I thought that Daikon was about to hit Andrew. I'm sorry, I thought he was about to hit Clark. However, he gave him a semi pass this time, and he said I'm like, he said to Andrew, okay, he tells, and I'm sorry, y'all, he tells Andrew and Daikon that Tally got away, that she hit him over the head with the stick, and she stole his 4-wheeler. Of course, Daikon is looking like, dang, now we got another problem. It's always something. So yeah, Daikon, it's always something because you always trying to run everything without letting the highest know. But I guess if we let the highest know, everybody will be dead immediately. Okay. But anyway, you guys, with that being said, Daikon sends Andrew and Clark to go on 4-wheelers to go and search for Tally. Hey y'all, I just had to add this part in here. During the conversation with Andrew and Daikon, okay, so I think Mr. Tyler Perry has been listening to us, talking about Daikon and his jacket. At the end of the day, y'all, Andrew asked Daikon, Man, why do you keep wearing that hot ass jacket? So we find out that the highest is the one that gave Daikon that hot ass jacket, and Daikon is gonna ride it because he's gonna wear it. He's gonna ride it out because he says the highest likes how he looks in it. Okay, so when y'all don't think Tyler Perry and the people over at Tyler Perry Studios and BET Plus are not listening to us, they really are listening to us. So after being sent on his way, it's Clark, Andrew, and the boy. The boy is the one that normally ushers the highest his drugs. So anyway, Daikon sends those three out to try and go and find Talia. Now then we have it where we see Ruth and Melinda that are in their trailer, and Ruth automatically knows, okay, it's time to get up. I don't want Elder Mother Marva coming in here starting her mess, so let's go ahead and get up. Now, remind y'all, Melinda is just coming off punishment, and Melinda is like, I don't want to be here. I'm not getting up. I'm not doing. Listen, Ruth tells her, sis, you're gonna have to go on and get up because I am not getting punished for you. With that being said, she gets dressed and she makes her way over to the kitchen and sends Melinda to do whatever detail that she is scheduled to do. So then we see that Andrew, it's daylight now, you guys, it's morning time, and Andrew and Clark have made their way back to the Rockabusha compound with no Tally in hands, okay? So Tally is, so far, Tally, she got at least a good uh, hour to 2 hours away from wherever this Rockabusha compound is. So far to the fact that Andrew comes back and lets Daikon know, hey, we need some dogs to track her down because at this point I don't know any other way, to find her. But so anyway, with that being said, Daikon tells Andrew, okay, this is messed up. I'm gonna have to tell the highest, but what I want you to do is go ahead and get you some rest. And then Andrew proceeds to say, okay, I will get rest, but after I eat some breakfast, if that's okay with you. So Daikon, of course, goes. He's headed towards the highest trailer, and Andrew makes his way to the kitchen. Now we know that Andrew really didn't really, even though he probably was hungry because he went almost a whole day without eating, without breakfast, lunch, or dinner because he's been gone for a while. But anyway, with that being said, he goes to the kitchen where Ruth is, and he proceeds to, Marva sees him. Now she loves her some Andrew, y'all. Marva loves her some Andrew. She is flirting with him and, telling him how nice he is and so on and so forth. We know what it is. Marva want to get her hands on Andrew. And Andrew was just playing the game, y'all. He was going along with, thank you, I always liked you too, Elder Mother Marva. Anyways, with that being said, she says that Marva asked Andrew, is the highest awake? And, Andrew was like, I don't know, I just got back. He said, but I did see Daikon head over to the trailer, and he may be awake, he's not sure. But he did see Daikon head over to the trailer. So Elder Mother Marva leaves out of the kitchen, and she also tells Ruth to go ahead and prepare him some breakfast because he says he knows he's early, but he's hungry. And so of course she goes ahead and gives Ruth the go ahead to go ahead and fix him some breakfast. And once Marva is gone, all of the helpers, the other elder mothers, help Marva over to the highest trailer, or help her out of the trailer that she's in. Um, Andrew and Ruth, they have a little conversation. Basically, Andrew is asking Ruth where would Tally go. Now, at this point, I want to trust Andrew. I'm a little nervous, but I want to trust him. He says, she's gone, but she carried my baby. And, I'm like, my thing is this, Andrew, if you had gave Tally a little bit of hope while she was, still there, maybe she wouldn't have left, but you shunned her, you called, you did all, was all rowdy with her. So sis had to do what she had to do. And but with that being said, Ruth, she begins to, they're still talking, and then he finally reveals that I'm on your side. And then that's when she reveals that she wants to leave, but she still has no idea where so Talia Andrew also would go. Seeks to let Ruth know that he has people and places and things in place to help Talia, but he needs to know where she would go. Um, Ruth is just like, I don't know where she would go, but I need you to get me out of here too. I need to get myself out. I need to get I also need to get my daughter, as well as Tavia out of here. Now, Ruth, all of this time, Ruth is actually thinking, so with Andrew asking all the questions, but Ruth is actually thinking that Talia is dead. But and she begins to tear up, and tell Andrew, like they killed her, and Andrew was like, well, not according to what Daikon said, because Daikon had me out there in the woods looking for her, and I don't think he will send me out there for nothing. So Ruth becomes relieved that Tally is still alive, and then she regains that little bit of hope that she had. Um, that maybe possibly she could make it out of there alive. So with that being said, Andrew is like, just trust me. We don't have to be able to trust each other. And that's just how it went down. They had, like I said, they had this whole conversation trying to figure out who to trust, who not to trust. But with that being said, it got crazy. It is really getting crazy, y'all. So Daikon goes over to the Highest trailer. At first the Highest is asleep. And then Marva walks up. So Daikon basically all he does is peek into the Highest trailer. I guess he sees that the Highest is still asleep, and then he turns around to wait for the Highest to wake up. With that being said, Marva walks up and she wants to have a conversation with the Highest, of course, because Daikon is there. She's afraid that he's gonna blow up her spot, and they try to apologize and all of that, and then they still back and forth. That's a weird apology, y'all. They try to apologize to each other, but they still don't trust each other. They don't like each other. They made it known they do not like each other. And so anyway, with the noise and commotion that they're making, the Highest makes his way outside of the trailer. Now, Daikon lets the Highest know that I need to talk to you. And basically, Marva is like, well, not without me. And the Highest is saying, okay, Marva, or Elder Mother, give it a break now. Just let me talk to Daikon to see what's going on. So Daikon and the Highest go inside the Highest's trailer, and Daikon tells the Highest, sir, we got a problem. It's Tally. Tally has not. We have not been able to find her. And the Highest, of course, he goes into his little mode of she's gonna go to the. She's gonna go to the government. She's gonna get a shutdown, so on and so forth. Now, with that being said, the Highest says, okay, well, she wanna play. We're gonna play with her. Go get her daughter. So he's saying, well, basically we trying to find out what's the purpose of going to get her daughter. The purpose of getting her daughter is Talia is going to see Talia in the woods with Daikon, and then she's going to want to try to get her daughter. We don't know if that's going to work, but we do know that the Highest said that if she doesn't come out, then just kill the daughter. Just kill the child. Dang, your Highest, I thought you loved the kids. Apparently, not Tally, or not Tally's kid, not Tavia. Like, you want to kill the baby? Like, come on, man. I knew you were sick, but not the baby. So anyway, Daikon makes his way out and he goes to get baby girl Tavia from the children's trailer. And then Ruth and Andrew are still in the pooch in the kitchen, and Ruth is, she's trying to break it down to Andrew as to why he went to get baby girl Tavia. She basically said, Andrew, no, look, they're gonna use the baby girl for bait, and that's how they're gonna try to get Talia to come out of the woods if that's where she is. They're gonna try to use baby girl for bait. So Andrew sees Daikon walking out of the children's trailer with baby girl Tavia. He goes because Ruth sends him, says he never goes to the children's trailer. So he sends, Andrew goes over and he says to Daikon, what are you doing? Basically asking him, where you taking, the little girl, and do you want me to take her? And Daikon is like, no, I got her. I'll handle this. With that being said, Andrew goes back into the trailer, into the kitchen, and says that, hey, I'm gonna, I'm we're watching, but he wants to take the child, so on and so forth. So Ruth leaves out of the food trailer, out of the kitchen, and makes her way over to, because she sees baby girl Tavia sitting in front of at the Hyacinth's trailer, and she proceeds to try to take the little girl, Tavia, with her. Ruth, where you going, honey? Where you going, sis? Where you going with the baby? You on the Rocket Beach compound. There's not very many places you can take the little girl and hide her. Okay? So she's doing whatever she can. She said to the house, "Oh, I thought she was lost. I thought she was, thought she was in the wrong place." And the house comes out and he says, he sees her trying to, hug the little girl and everything. And he says to her, "Oh, Ruth, you love the children, don't you?" And she says, "Yes, your highest." And then he says, "Are you pregnant?" And she says, I think I am. And so with that being said, Ruth got spared, I think, because he thinks that she's pregnant. So I think that's the only reason why she was spared. But any other person probably would have been slapped, punched, kicked, whatever by the highest. So we're gonna see if we they Ruth and Andrew are able to save baby girl Tavia. But at this point, right about now, baby girl is going to the woods. She's gonna be that deer that normally tries to cross over on the alligator's pond and end up getting snatched up. But hopefully we won't, hopefully they won't, she'll be spared in some shape, form, or fashion. Because when Daikon was told to go get the child, Daikon actually didn't like the fact that the Heights wanted him to go and get the baby girl. So we'll see if Daikon has any remorse, any empathy. I don't know, because Daikon basically does any and everything that the Heights tells him to do. I forgot to mention to you guys when Andrew went back into the food or the little kitchen trailer with Ruth. Ruth asked Andrew for 10 pounds of salt. Now we know why. If y'all can remember, I remember. Hopefully y'all remember. They poured out the cyanide. They poured out that poison um, uh, that is made, that is used for the punch, used for the applesauce. They poured all of that stuff out. So now at this point, Ruth has to replace it. And the thing that looks the closest to that poison is salt. So Andrew is like, how do I supposed to get you some, get you some salt? But at the end of the day, of course, Andrew, he's gonna do what he has to do and come through. So he says, okay, and basically, that's the end of that conversation. He doesn't know that they poured that cyanide out. He has no idea at all. But Ruth absolutely has to cover her tracks. Also, you guys, when baby girl Talia goes inside of the Heist's trailer, um, He has the audacity to say to baby girl Tavia, Uncle Daikon is going to take you on a ride on a four-wheeler. Not this poor little child, you about to try to take this baby to her death, but Uncle Daikon is going to take her on the four-wheeler. Anyway, he asked her does she like the four-wheelers. She nods her head yes. At this point, this poor child probably drugged up. Who knows what they've been doing to the kids. But she's just like, okay, like whatever, no questions asked, no nothing. She's humble, she's innocent, and she don't know that she may be possibly going to her death. So anyway, the highest, all I gotta say to you is you're garbage for that. You're garbage, you're garbage, you're garbage. How dare you try to sacrifice this child for your selfishness? So at the end of the day, highest, whatever happened to you, you're gonna get what you get. And like I said last week, I don't feel sorry for you for what you went through as a child. I feel sorry for that innocent child. However, you as a grown freaking man, I don't care what could happen to you, your heights. And that's on period. Okay? Alright, y'all, let me move on. So y'all, we finally get to the freaking high point, the climax of this episode. Okay, so the highest finally decides to walk around and just so happen he walks over to Lilo's car and he questions why is Lilo's car still here. Now, Joan is creeping. I don't know where Joan was headed, but she's creeping, making her way over to where the car is, or I think that the finance trailer is behind, or is where is Lilo's car is behind the punishment trailer or the finance trailer, y'all. I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Joan is creeping over. Maybe she's going over to the cooler to try to help a boy out. But so far, she's creeping, making her way over, and the highest turns and he sees her. And so he asks her, Joan, has Lilo been here yet? And Joan says, no, he hasn't. I haven't seen him. And then he asked her, he said, who said that he left? And the highest, Joan says to the highest that Oliver was the one that said that Lilo had left the compound. Now, then there's the boy that the highest sees, and he yells for him, tells him to come over to the car. He said, oh no, actually it was Clark, y'all. It was Clark. Clark walks over to where the highest is, and he says, open up this trunk. And first he said, I don't have the keys. And then he said, all of my soldiers should have a Swiss Army knife. And so then Clark thinks about it. Yeah, I do have a Swiss Army knife, and he attempts to break in. Y'all, can I tell y'all, Clark is not a thug. Clark ain't no thug. He is not a thug. He couldn't break into the trunk of the car. So the highest was like, just give me this. I'll open it myself. The highest opens up the freaking trunk of Lilo's car, and out comes 1,000 freaking flies. 1,000 flies. And they see Lilo's dead, cut up body. And that's it. That's it. But we know, y'all, the skit is about to hit the fans. The highest has discovered Lilo's dead body. So, with that being said, what does this mean for Oliver? Oliver was the last one that quote unquote saw him. So, what does this mean for Oliver? And what does this mean for everybody else on the Rockadushi compound, y'all? At the end of the day, if they're smart, if the highest is smart, if he's thinking, all he has to say is, and they can go and get rid of Lilo's car at this point, but all he has to say is, he left and we haven't seen him ever since. There's nothing else that the cartel can do, or whoever comes looking for Lilo, there's nothing that they can do. Hopefully. But that's it, y'all. That's it. That's all. Hopefully we will see next week. We'll see what happens. I was checking out Jamie Calica's Ask You a Question Day Wednesday, and he says that I think we have like a total of 22 or 23 episodes. So with that being said, that's positive. We have a few more episodes to go, y'all. And that's it. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this Ruthless family. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit share. Tell your friends, tell your auntie, uncles, sisters, and brothers about this YouTube channel, All Things Ruthless, with the girl Tika the Shine, okay? And that's it, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Best believe it, nothing to the streets is undefeated when the sun go down. Ooh, it get wild, baby, wild, baby, wild, baby, wild. I'm the highest, doors wide open and unprovoked when outsiders wanna steal our spirit and our hope. Then smoke them till they broken. All we know is ruthless, rage in between the teeth. The malice is the toothpick. Truth is, they got me running to the Colts. I'm seeing all the colors, we the color of assault. This a bolt, and we ain't finna let you inside. Why? Unless you really prove that you gon' ride. When the sun go down, we run the city. Fear the angels, but the demons with me. When the sun go down, best believe it. Nothing to the streets is undefeated. When the sun go down, ooh, it get wild, baby, wild, baby, wild, baby, wild. Ride to the death of me, the very last breath of me. The rest